if there's a Hall of Fame for whatever we're talking about, like he needs to be put into it because this guy is one of the greatest comedic actors of all time.
Todd was like, nah, I got this doctor's appointment. Very next scene, we find out he's got HIV at the doctor. That escalated real quick. Mama's a brick house. I know Martin's keeping Gina busy all night long. If he's anything like me, bang, bang, bang.
Happened in the 90s.
So on WrestleMania 5, he had a little segment with Roddy Piper because, Morton Downey was always smoking. And, he was smoking in front of Roddy Piper, smoking into his face. And he's like, I told you I don't like smoke. I don't. And so he kept smoking in his face. And
I like that energy.
And then Roddy takes out an extinguisher and just like sprays Morton Downey Jr. to a big pop. This was WrestleMania 5. I think this was in Atlantic City that year. That was the first pay-per-view I had ordered. Well, I was 5. My grandma ordered.
I was gonna say, Steve, what the fuck?
Yeah, man. Mowing the lawn.
You pulled a talk boy out and we're like, credit card, you got it. Some pay-per-view person is like, I guess we could charge this. This doesn't sound like Ethel. I don't know.
My grandparents paid me for watching cartoons. They were so amused. You watch all them cartoons, baby? Here's some money for your pay-per-views.
God, if I could have gotten, my grandma would have been just throwing the ducats, Steve.
Is that Ghostbusters? Here's $20, baby.
Did you eat 20 fun-sized peanut butter cups, man? Here you go. Here's $50. That's basically what my grandmother did, Steve. So, I mean, shout out. Shout out to Doris Shug.
Shout out to grandmas from these two grandmas boys.
Dude, my grandma was so dope. She just I would tell, it's like heaven to me when I talk about it because basically all my memories are food related. And so when I tell Kendra about it, I'm like, look, you'd go over to this woman's house. She would have any candy. She had a bowl full of peanut butter cups, like in the little singles in the foil, York peppermint patties, and Hershey's Kisses. And that was just going to the kitchen, Steve. Then you got in the kitchen, angel food cake with icing and sprinkles every day. She just made it to make it, that sodas on deck. I mean, she would make me macaroni and cheese just, like a personal chef.
Because she got you.
Exactly. Doris. Me and Doris used to watch. Dude, we used to watch Walker, Texas Ranger together, Steve.
Nice.
Shout out. She loves CD. My grandma loved CD.
I bet she did. No, who doesn't love CD?
This guy's a party animal, dude. That guy's a legend.
Takes a licking and keeps on digging. Motherfucker gets shot, ran over by cars, still persists.
How much pussy do you think that guy got for people approaching him? Like some old lady, like, are you Wilford Brimley? And he's like, hell no, man, but I'll give you a mustache ride. That's the same.
Seen Ace Ventura? Your grandson seen Ace Ventura?
I don't give a good goddamn if you fillet it and fast food it, Steve. That's his greatest role. I'm sorry. CD, shout out for the Walker, Texas Ranger stint, but your 5 minutes in Ace Ventura at the beginning as an intense owner of the Miami Dolphins, legendary, dude.
Matt, can we take a moment to give praise to the late, great John Witherspoon? This is a moment to spotlight the greatness that is John Witherspoon, man. Like we talked about SNL, like if you could do batting averages on just like appearances, like I'm talking about starring the show, star of the movie, or just having one scene in a movie, like John Witherspoon would have a pretty high batting average, man.
All right, it's got to be like 1,000. Has he ever stumbled? Man. And to add to that legacy, also, we talk about great legendary entertainment dads. Usually it's about TV. This guy is a prolific dad in so many things, Steve.
Yeah, universally known as Pops, man. The Wayans brothers, Friday. He played David Alan Greer's dad on Boomerang. Bang, bang, bang.
I mean, he was doing it for, I mean, how long was this guy's career, dude? It's crazy.
Man, he goes back to the prior days.
He's got a
Like,
son too. That's I think probably like he used to do podcasts and stuff with
yeah,
his dad. Dude can do a great impression of his dad, but I think his legacy is going to go on, and it should. I mean, he's got if there's a Hall of Fame for whatever we're talking about, like he needs to be put into it because this guy is one of the greatest comedic actors of all time, and he can throw in a
definitely.
little like emotion too. Steve, got to live, to fight another day, son.
You think you a man with that gun in your hand, don't you?
I'm a man without it. Out it. Out it.
And in the one scene that he had in House Party, no, them kids ain't keeping it down. They playing that Public Enemy.
I mean, and he was kind of holding the Friday franchise up when they kept doing sequels. You know, they lost the
Yeah.
Tucker, they pulled an Epps in, but they kept Witherspoon in. Obviously, you know, he became like a huge part of the third one too. They had that business together. They had in the little mini mall.
Yeah.
Him in DC. Yeah, I mean, I caught on to him as a youngster watching Friday. Friday was my first injection of John Witherspoon comedy, but I guess I'd seen him in Martin because I'd watched that, but I never really clocked, him as a historic figure. But I mean, here we are, we're in our 40s and still talking about how awesome this dude is.
And once you realize his greatness, man, you start seeing him pop up in other sitcoms. Like he was on an episode of 227, Amen.
I'm dude. He was in a lot of just like some of those like low budget black comedies in the 90s too. He would just pop up in some of those. I think he was in I Got the Hookup, if I'm not mistaken, that Master P joint. I think he shows up and does like a 5-minute little bit in
He
that.
was. He was in The Ladies' Man, Little Nicky.
Yeah, dude. You just ate human shit. Dude, hey, shout out to Ladies, man. Anybody who hasn't seen that, go see it. Because to be honest, it's not the best SNL like movie translation, but it's up there, dude. They turned a skit into an actual movie and did it. I mean, awesome.
The Hollywood Shuffle, that independent movie that kind of made Robert Townsend a household name. I'm Going to Get You, Sucker. That was Keenan Ivory Wayans. That was his directorial debut.
Was he in Meteor Man?
He was in Meteor Man. So it's like stuff like that, man. Like a lot of these classics, these hood classics he would pop up in, man. Bebe's Kids, he was one of the voices. Of course, Vampire in Brooklyn. You ever had somebody flip flop on you and shit?
Yeah, dude. Yeah, I mean, what else is there to say? I wish he was still around, but this dude, is cemented. Get him on Mount Rushmore. Get one of those old white men off and throw John Witherspoon up there, Steve. Fuck it.
One of the best comedic actors of all time, man. Hey, boys and girls, this is Steve G and Mad G with Happened in the 90s, a show where we talk about what happened in the 90s. So get out your Gold Dust posters and your GoldenEye cartridges, because we're doing it and doing it and doing it well. Doing it and doing it and doing it well. Doing it and doing it and doing it well. I represent Queens. She was raised out in Brooklyn.
Yeah, dude. That was a sexy video, dude.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, wasn't that like a infamous like live performance somewhere too? Like, didn't they have like
VMAs?
Like a live sex session on stage?
Oh, it was ornery on that stage, Matt.
And he'll lick them lips all day, Steve.
And the ladies love it. Well, today, my friend, we're talking all things November 21st in the 90s. Starting off in 1990, Predator 2 premieres. The Predator returns to Earth, this time to stake a claim on war-torn streets of a dystopian Los Angeles. Directed by Stephen Hopkins, starring Danny Glover, Gary Busey, Ruben Blades, Maria Conchita Alonso, Bill Paxton, Calvin Lockhart, and Robert Davey.
I mean, I was thinking this was going to be trash, Steve. I was thinking maybe my memory sucks because I haven't seen this in decades. I mean, the first time I saw it, me and Rob Lackus hanging out, sleepover, we popped this in. I was amazed. It's got fucking Danny Glover in it, Angels in the Outfields out here just drilling fucking criminals. But I gotta say, watching it again last night, I mean, does it stack up to the Arnold movie? Because I gotta say, I feel like is Glover some kind of giant roid beast in this? No, but the movie stacks up, Steve. This is a great sequel.
I could tell you he was getting too old for this shit, but this is a good standalone. It wasn't a bad sequel, man. It doesn't compare to the original, though, man.
But it adds so much story to what we know now. Not only do we get to see Predator again, but we get filled in on some of this stuff. We see him collecting trophies. We get to see that little room Predator has with like skulls, with like alien heads and shit. There's an actual alien from the movie Aliens in that, which, shout out, we'll get there. But I just think they add something to the story. And this movie gives you that nice 90s action, and it gives us a couple bullet points I brought up about 90s action movies. We get obligatory tits. We get a 90s LA, which is basically a RoboCop Warzone situation going on. It's the same thing going on in Detroit and RoboCop. There's just gunfire everywhere, which I love. We get the racial gangs, like the Jamaicans, the Colombians. We get those things that we all love from the 90s. We get Danny Glover, who's basically playing Murtaugh. He's playing Murtaugh, Steve. They could have called him Murtaugh, and Riggs is on vacation, and he's just fucking running and gunning solo.
Yeah.
I dig it. We get a beautiful, unfucked up Gary Busey, still with us, still mentally there, and a Bill Paxton, Steve.
A young Billy Paxton.
Sweaty as all goddamn hell, but hilarious. Bill Paxton he's another guy coming in, throwing a little B-roll, just love to this movie. He always adds something. He always puts something into the movie, whether it's this, whether it's Coconut Pete and Club Dread, shout out, True Lies for the 5 seconds he's in that. He's always great.
And can't forget about Morton Downey Jr. He just has that face that you just want to punch a lot. And I'm glad that happened in this movie.
And I like watching it. I'm like, they just basically took a bunch of cool movies. Maybe the time doesn't work, but it's like a mix of Predator, Lethal Weapon, and throw in like a little Natural Born Killers RoboCop silliness, because they'll keep cutting to like weird, like Morton Downey's weird TV show called Hardcore something. Yeah. And he's just showing death on TV and stuff, but he's kind of like, remember Robert Downey Jr. in Natural Born Killers?
Yeah, that's literally what's happening.
It's doing that. So I don't know, man. It's long without being long. I dig all the action. It's a good like horror movie. I mean, you get damn near an hour more than an hour into the movie before you actually see Predator at all, just like in the first one. And then at the end, as they always do, it just gets a little wacky with like going into the spaceship, the whole alien, like man on alien fight, and then more Predators and stuff. But I think even that's kind of cool because they give you a little extra, and Danny Glover gets props from a bunch of Predators, which I think is super cool as well.
What's also cool is Predator himself or itself. I don't mind Predator. I know he's supposed to be the big meanie of the movie, but he kind of has a cool look. He's kind of got like those bald George Jefferson dreads like Floyd Mayweather Sr. used to have.
It's a cool looking like monster. And the story that we find out now, because, the first one, he was just kind of like this thing that was in the jungle and he hunted humans. Okay. But now we find out through the like all the prologue we get from Gary Busey, who's like an FBI agent in this, investigating and hunting Predator. We find out that they know about what happened in the jungle, the FBI. They even reference it. They show Arnold Schwarzenegger's picture and talked about how they defeated one and it, blew up like 8 blocks worth of jungle or whatever. But we also find out like these things are hunters that just will come down. It's hot in LA. There's gunfire everywhere. So they're basically attracted to big war zones. And they'll go there because that's where the game is. That's where the dangerous game is that they want to hunt. So we get all that in this movie. And then it just turns into a fucking chase movie where Murtaugh is just going through LA, just beating the shit out of a predator, Steve. I mean, Murtaugh kills a predator, bro.
Solo dolo.
He don't need anybody else. He fucking was seeing this shit the whole time, but I dug it, man. I think all the the extra guys, the guy with the Edward James Olmos face that we were talking about, he's great.
Robert Davey.
And Gary Busey goes out in a G-ass way too, which I love. It doesn't make a lot of sense, but he gets cut in half, and the way they show it, I always thought was hilarious.
And I also want to give a shout out to Kevin Peter Hall. He was the guy that was Predator. He played Predator in the original and in this one, and he would pass away that following year due to AIDS from a blood transfusion. Take a wild guess as to what other iconic character he played in the 80s going into the 90s. And a hint, the character was known for being tall.
Big Bird?
No. Kevin Peter Hall played Harry from Harry and the Hendersons.
Oh, shit. How tall was this motherfucker?
Kevin Peter Hall was 7'2".
Damn, Kev.
Yeah. He also had a recurring role on 227 where he was engaged to one of the main characters, and that same character he was actually engaged to in real life up until his death, man. So RIP to that legend. 1992, Captain Planet is airing season 3, episode 11, A Formula for Hate. Todd Andrews, the high school basketball player, finds out that he has HIV/AIDS. Verminous Skumm starts rumors about the disease that turned Todd's schoolmates against him, hoping to spread the disease further.
Fucking Verminous Skumm is just a catty little bitch, Steve.
Oh, man. Super petty.
Did you guys hear what fucking Todd has? he's got the HIV. Don't fucking kiss him.
He shouldn't be in the game. He has AIDS.
Hey, everybody, that kid has AIDS. What? I gotta also give a shout out because Master Splinter makes like an appearance as Verminous Skumm's like buddy who's just helping him make AIDS flyers for some. Like that's the thing, Steve.
That's like, is he a gambler? Does he have money on the opposing team? Like, why is this so important to him?
I mean, he's pulling a Watergate at the beginning of this because him and the fucking rat boy are like taking pictures of some files in a doc. He's like, "Hey, get over here! Look at this shit. Ugh, that's what herpes looks like." Snap one. It's gross, dude.
Yeah, Verminous Skumm. That's the same guy that had the bliss. You want some bliss?
You gotta fucking work all this in, Verminous. Get the bliss, then get a bunch of people with a HIV together, mix them up, and you got a recipe for some real chaos. But this guy, he can't figure it out, Steve. Now he's just creating an AIDS newsletter. When you get those like awareness flyers in your mail for like molesters that moved in, you know, he's just like, "Hey, FYI, there's some kid with AIDS hanging out."
Yeah, watch your tongue around that water fountain. And so, like, while he's looking at these files with his buddy, the Planeteers, they're already on the case. I guess they can keep a tab on all their ops from remote. And, you know,
I mean,
like,
Guy has got a planet cam. Can't you just like put a little fucking tracker on these fucks?
Yeah, that's. I never understood why she just kind of sits things out and she sends the Planeteers.
She just takes the day off, Steve. Like Zordon was helping the Rangers out, like teleporting them places and shit.
Yeah.
She just
GPS
she has like a group meeting at the beginning of the day and is like, "Go fly your fucking asses to wherever the problem is, you fuck." Like, I gotta go read something.
I got a mani-pedi at 12, so yeah, I'll go do this shit.
God bless though, Steve.
So meanwhile, there's a basketball game on, and Verminous Skumm and his boy, they're wearing these Woody Allen pedo jackets. Like, that's not obvious. You don't see this big ass rat tail coming out of this trench coat.
I mean, he looks like somebody about to like just show somebody his penis. You know, he's just there. Todd wins a game to get the kids into the state championship. This kid's a baller, Steve. This kid's a little Steve Kerr, little John Stocky. You know,
Jeff Hornacek.
Little fucking white chocolate. What was that guy's real name? What was his government?
Jason Williams.
Yeah, Jason Williams, dude. This guy's Jason Williams with just some luscious hair. And kind of, you know, I don't know. He just has, he looks Like maybe Captain Planet's son also too, Steve. He's got the angular face, you know. Maybe Captain Planet's plugging chicks across the nation, and he's one of them. You know,
Yeah.
that's a little side note. But as he's leaving, he's getting props from everybody. Everyone's like, "Todd, you're the shit. Let's party." And then Verminous Skumm comes up in his molest outfit and is like, "Hey, Todd, you better watch your ass."
Yeah. Lucky shot.
I mean, dude, that's what I'm saying. Verminous Skumm is just like a little catty little bitch. See?
He's a bitch, man. I swear. Verminous Skumm, if I ever find you, it's on site.
But as he's doing this, he's him and his rat friend are like hanging out, just fucking the vibe up. But as Todd leaves, and then he's like, "Oh shit!" and he just like jumps into a bush because the Planeteers are coming, Steve. They were like 10 feet away from him, and they didn't clock two guys, one with a rat tail and molesty dusters walking around like fucking Dick Tracy pre-coming all over the place.
Yeah. And so like Todd's getting all this praise, like, "Oh man, you're the greatest." His little brother is looking up to him. His best friend is there. His girlfriend's like, "So we're gonna have that 3-way with my girlfriend tomorrow." Still, Todd is like, "Nah, I got this doctor's appointment." Very next scene, we find out he's got HIV at the doctor. That escalated real quick.
I mean, and he doesn't handle it well. He's like, "This stinks." I mean, it does, Todd. I mean, that's some bad news, bro. Persona non grata in the fuck session, Steve. He can't. I mean, this is 90s AIDS, too. This isn't 2020 AIDS. So the mom's confused. And the doctor's like, because this is where the education starts, Steve. It's a very educational episode. He's like, it could have gotten it from a blood transfusion. You know, maybe he's just blood contact. Maybe some unprotected sex. Maybe he had a blood transfusion, Steve. But
That's what it was.
I think Todd's boofing some dangerous drugs, and that's what happened. That's my theory. Him and his friends. That's how they get ready for these basketball games.
I think him and his buddy Jeff were on some Rock Hudson shit.
Yeah, hell yeah. That's his roommate, Steve. Don't question it. It's just his roommate and his friend for 40 years. And in the sewers, in Verminous Skumm's lair, he's got the printing press going, Steve. He was on Photoshop all day, and he's got the Todd Has AIDS flyers printing in full color by the dozens, Steve. He's got a huge stack.
He's putting out this propaganda with Todd's face on it, and it just says AIDS. He's going to put it all over the town.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of confusing. There's no phone number. I would love if at this point, though, he like looked at one. He's like, "God damn it, you spelled AIDS wrong. It says ADIS, you fuck." They have to reprint everything. Takes a little longer. But so that's the plan, Steve. That's the evil plan.
It makes no sense.
And just put this kid on Front Street with the AIDS.
AIDS is the best thing to happen since the Black Plague. Yeah, and everyone will get scared. And when they get scared, they can't think. And everyone will be frantic.
Like, and then what? Like, what after that?
I haven't thought of it, Steve. Hey, by the way, rat guy, where'd all that bliss go?
he's just fucking touching himself.
We need more bliss.
That's what this is all about. But then we cut to the school, Steve. That's happening. They got to print off at least a couple more hundo to get those out there. So at the school, you know, the Planeteers are looking for Todd. They're like, "Where's fucking Todd at?" Todd's in the gym just shooting J's. Okay. He's nailing them too. He's got 100% fucking win ratio on that. And then his coach comes in. The coach, it's Coach Prime, Steve. This is what you want to coach.
Coach Carter.
Hell yeah, dude. And he's like, "What do you want to talk about, Todd?" Todd's like, "There's nothing to talk about. I have AIDS."
It's all over. Wrong, Todd. It's not over.
Wrong.
Like, dude, did you just hear me?
Shout out to the most accepting individual of all time, especially somebody who's a head coach for a team of any sort of sports team in the 90s. You know,
Yeah.
He's cool with it. He gives him a little pep talk, and Todd's like, "Probably can't even play in the game." He's like, "Wrong again, Todd. Get your hivd ass out there. You're gonna be playing your ass off. Just don't bleed on anybody, okay?"
Yeah.
Wear a
You're
long
gonna play
sleeve
in that
shirt.
game.
Yeah, but the coach, dude, Coach Carter, Coach whatever the fuck this guy's name is, this guy is a Mother Teresa of this town. He doesn't care.
Yeah. If anyone has a problem with it, they'll have me to answer to. Now, let's go work on that crossover. Like, bro,
Hey,
I
Coach,
have HIV.
you want a sip of my water? Hell no. Still. You good, Todd. But the Planeteers, they're moving and shaking. They see Scum and they start giving chase. You know, they're chasing him around. But then we go to Todd's mom, and she's like trying to keep the secret. But then everybody keeps saying things about Todd, and they're, you know, she's just in pain. So she's tearing up a little bit.
Well, everyone doesn't know yet. Verminous Skumm hasn't put the word out, but he tells his girlfriend that, you know, he's going to go to college next year, and he's probably going to want to talk to other girls. So he doesn't want to tie her down, waste her time, and she doesn't take it well.
What are you saying, Todd? He's like, I'm just saying I need some hot new sniz when I go to college. What do you want? Chill out. So he tries to cold shoulder her. She's pissed. Dodging a bullet, to be honest, Steve. And so, you know, again, it's all hitting everybody, though. Todd's mom knows. She's getting, everyone's like just saying impromptu shit to her. She's like, yeah, so do you need any aid today? And she's like, what'd you just say?
And like, as the Planeteers are following Verminous Skumm, they fall right into his trap. They get wrapped up from this little mechanism that's throwing out rings that are like brass, I guess. I don't know.
I mean, they're built to just capture people. Steve, fuck a rope.
Yeah, just body cuffs.
I mean, that's really what it is. And thank God, is it just big enough for all these? I mean, because honestly, a fat man, I would have been cut in half.
You'd have busted it open. Right?
Actually, you're right. It couldn't have worked. But he gets them, and now he's like, "You dumb pieces of shit! Look at all these flyers I made."
You're all wrapped up with no place to go.
But what I will say is now Scumm's gets a little fucking dastardly because he's like, hey, Splinter, grab all these fucking flyers. They flood the fucking layers, Steve. They flood the sewers somehow. And the everybody's fucked. They're gonna die, Steve. Dun, 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 dun.
Before we leave, grab all these AIDS posters. I discovered the formula for hate.
Get that big fan too, because we need something to blow all these AIDS posters everywhere. That's literally the machine, Steve. A big old stack of AIDS flyers and a fan just to get those things going. That's it.
This guy's a loser. Wheeler, he frees everyone up. When they come back from commercial break, he frees them up as the water is building up and they're about to drown. He brings out his ring and he like frees up the water.
Fire. He uses fire, Steve.
Yeah.
He's fire.
Fire.
He blows a hole in a wall, which, I mean, I guess that works. I don't get it. I don't get the ring powers that much, but Wheeler saves him. Wheeler was knocked unconscious too, so he almost died, just drowned face down. But they're out. The Planeteers are out, but Todd, the school, it's getting a little wacky because Verminous Skumm's in school, and now he's really playing the telephone game. He's just walking around like, hey, did you hear that thing about Todd having AIDS?
Don't touch him. You could be next.
And everyone's getting pissed. Like, ew, what the? You said Todd has AIDS, and everyone's like, yo, Todd has AIDS. I mean, there's no chill in this school, Steve.
Hey, Jeff, I heard your buddy Todd has AIDS.
What? You better not be spreading that shit. Wait, no, Jeff's the big moosey looking guy, isn't he?
No, Jeff is his buddy.
Okay, Jeff's the guy. Jeff's his friend.
Yeah.
Okay. BFF. Yeah, well, Jeff even turns on him because Jeff's like, ew, Todd, tell everybody you don't got AIDS. That's fucked up. And Todd's like, man, I wanted to tell you, but, and he just tells everybody. I mean, he's not like shy about it, I guess, but these Scum posters, Steve, now that it's in the high school, it's marinating there, and they're getting everywhere, Steve. This shit's it's viral, just like AIDS.
My kid's not playing in this game if Todd Andrews plays.
I shared a milk with that kid. But what those flyers do on a good note is Todd's ex now. She sees the flyers and she's like, oh, that's what he was just afraid to tell me.
Oh,
Okay, so she's kind of coming back to Team Todd. But now Scum, he's given just a public speech about AIDS and how gross it is, Steve. He's like, look, this kid's fucking out here. Next thing you know, your daughter's got AIDS. Your daughter's got AIDS. I've seen it 100 times.
you wouldn't want your daughter kissing him, would you? Like, he's just stirring up that formula for hate, man.
But Scum's he's good at starting some rumors, Steve. I'll tell you that. This motherfucker should get into politics somehow.
Word's all over town, and by the time Todd makes it home, he sees that his little brother Chipper got beat up because he's got the hivs. Like, damn.
I mean, goddamn. They hit me because you had AIDS. He's like, what the fuck?
Hey, man.
Damn.
Kids are brutal.
I mean, the 90s was wild, Steve. I mean, these kids don't give a fuck. And so he's done. You know, he's like, well, fuck. I got AIDS. My brother got the shit kicked out of him. I got to get the fuck out of here. I think the town like goes Frankenstein and attacks because doesn't his mom have like a fruit stand or something?
She has a food stand and they're throwing tomatoes at his mom, dude.
I mean, damn. Hey, this chick's son has AIDS. Fucking throw some vegetables at this bitch.
Get out of my town, you broad.
Take you and your sick dick kid out of here, you fucking bitch. So Scum's plan, it's in full bore. The cops show up, but too late to save the fruit stand. So Todd's AIDS has now just ruined everyone's life. His whole family, it's in ruins, Steve.
Yeah, everybody makes it back home, and Todd's not there. He's gone. He takes a rowboat. I guess the family has a rowboat, and he takes it to a cabin so he can get some peace, quiet. He just needs to isolate himself and just think about everything that's going on in this frantic world of his. It was all good.
It was, dude. He was about to be the fucking like champion, dude.
Yeah.
Get that champion BJ, and then the doctors just ruined everything with this. His doctor calls at the end of this. Is like, hey, Todd, sorry about that. Wrong guy. This was actually some guy named Verminous Skumm's health thing. He had a rat tail. It was weird. Anywho. So I found it odd though. Todd's go-to like happy place is a rape cabin with a bed, fully made bed.
I need to go to Crystal Lake to get my mind right.
God, he just smells like a weird tuft of hair under a pillow. He's like, I miss you. He is Jason, Steve. That's what this is. This is Jason Voorhees.
But when he goes to sleep, instead of Jason, it's Verminous Skumm.
I'm even in your dreams. I'm your worst nightmare. I am ignorance. I'm fear. I am hate.
Todd's like, what the fuck? So he gets up and he runs. He's getting these visions of various people in his life. He comes across his brother, his best friend, his mother, his girlfriend. And then finally he sees his coach, and it's the coach with the words of wisdom. He's like, man, you're not a quitter. You got to go back. You got to go back, Todd. And that ends his dream. And when he wakes up, he realizes that his canoe is gone because that damn Verminous Skumm.
Ha 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 ha. Yeah, I mean, it was like a real Freddy Krueger situation, Steve. That's what is going on here. He's living in his dreams now, rent-free. And this kid has AIDS, which is terrifying enough. And you got some rat beast guy just like, hey, kid, just like really digging it in. Like when I had cancer, I didn't have dreams of some rat guy going, hey, Matt, sucks you got cancer, huh? It's like, okay, what the fuck? But here's my thing. Was it a dream though, Steve? Because his boat's gone.
So what do they call him? Lucid?
Yeah, exactly. I think he was sleepwalking. You know what I'm saying? Like maybe that's what happened. But anyway, boat's gone. Todd's out in the woods in this weird murder den shack thing. We go back to the Planeteers, and here's where Mati's heart ring comes into fucking play, Steve. I was like, how the fuck does this work? Like, other than like taming a beast or something. he's got like Xavier powers because he throws that little
Yep.
ring up and he finds out that he's like, Todd is in a cabin. I see many dead bodies. He's eating, so he can see what's going on. That's a crazy thing, Steve. I bet
That's
Mati just gets down on some fucking straight crazy drugs too, and just like looks at shit. You know what I'm
That's
saying?
why he's my favorite. Well, not because of drugs and shit, but
Because
he's got heart. He's got the heart.
Nah, dude. Fucking Wheeler, bro. Wheeler all day long. Fire crotch. He's the only redhead who's worth a damn. I'll just put it there.
I hope Mark Calloway didn't hear that. But yeah, man. So they GPS Todd down and they summon Captain Planet because Todd's stranded. His canoe is gone. So he's like, "Hey, you need a lift?" And again, we get those puns, those one-liners, like a la Rodney Dangerfield. I love it, Captain
Let me
Planet.
give you a little aid. Sorry, kid. Yeah, dude. But I do love, dude, this is how much of a G Todd is. Before Captain Planet gets there, this motherfucker was building a raft to get back home. Like, he wasn't settled. He wasn't just sitting there crying his ass off. He was trying to survive, Steve.
He's a man of action.
Hell
Yeah. Coach Carter set him straight in that dream, man. And, because the championship game is going on right now, and everybody's like, "Where's Todd? Where's Todd?" Oh, you're talking about the kid with AIDS? Yeah, who cares? So, I want to say probably halftime or just midway through the game, Todd appears with Captain Planet. Nobody bats an eye that this guy with AIDS just soared in to the game with this green.
Is that what happened when you get AIDS? Everyone's like, dude.
I want a green-haired, flat-top, blue-skinned guy as a friend too. Yeah, that could fly.
He's all ripped and made out of glass. I don't fuck, dude. This is crazy. Also, does your life change after you see Captain Planet? Because you're like, what is this proof of? Is there God? Is this God? Is he an alien? Yeah. Anywho, miracle notwithstanding that a glass man just flew an AIDS kid into the gym. Everyone just like, oh, here's Todd. And I like Verminous Skumm's just in the crowd, like still doing his thing. Like, yo, is that kid with AIDS?
Get him out of here. He's got AIDS.
Get him. It's just him and Splinter pulling a Madman and Methadone.
And Captain Planet, he's like, even though this is a school, they need a little education on the HIV virus.
Yeah, so him and Coach just go tag team Legion of Doom status with the knowledge on this fucking gym full of bigots. They just started the education process. They're like, look, this kid, he's a good kid. You're not going to get AIDS from drinking a fucking, a Sprite with him. You're not going to get AIDS from playing basketball with him. Let him play. Shut the fuck up. Probably you in the front, you do have AIDS. I'm Captain Planet, and I'm going to give the rest of you AIDS with my magic powers.
You've all been misled. Yeah. Get with the facts, people. Todd needs all your support, and the power is yours. Oh my God! You know what? Thank you, green hair guy. Todd, you totally don't suck anymore, man. I want AIDS too.
But Skumm has to throw one last little Hail Mary out. He's like, "Hey Jeff, dude, this fucking kid is a tool. Like, remember how he has AIDS? Isn't that gross?" And even the fucking meathead kid's like, "Shut up, dude. Todd's cool, bro." Fucking throws 5 into his face. Todd gets a little standing ovation, throws on the gear, and it's time to go to work, Steve, because he's got a disease to beat, but more importantly, he's got a state championship to win. You know what I'm saying?
This is for state, man. And years later, everyone who attended this game, they were like, "Man, remember that time the kid with AIDS flew in with that glass green-haired guy?"
Fucking won the game, dude. They were losing by like 30. He dropped like 45 on a team and a half with AIDS.
That's crazy.
Yes. Yeah, dude. That'd definitely be like a core memory in everyone's life at that gym. But Skumm tries to flee. Captain Planet gets to him, and Scumm's like, "What are you gonna do? Beat me up or whatever?" And Captain Planet's like, "I don't have to do anything. You've done enough." And then I think he gets arrested. So
yeah,
what for the? I mean, Steve, can I be honest though? As like an advocate, was he being arrested for? First Amendment. First Amendment. Hey, Scrum. Just plead First Amendment rights, okay? I'm gonna get you out of jail.
I mean, he's talking about this man's character in public, defamation of character.
He didn't print those flyers, Steve. He's just out here raising awareness. But anyway, I'm not playing devil's advocate for Villainous Scrum or whatever his fucking name is. Fuck
Well,
him.
yeah, they need to keep him locked in, man, because they haven't found that pound of bliss in his basement. But you know, he's going to get out because he's a rat. He snitches. He's always got the drop on people.
It's like, at least they didn't find all that child porn that I had in the sewer. Thank God.
Like what?
And
dude, but I just have to say, Todd though pulls a white men can't jump, Steve, and that's why I like the end of this, because not only does he have AIDS, he's got a vertical leap.
Yeah. And he's got the girl again, you know, and they would eventually get married and produce a child because his girlfriend was pregnant at the time. She didn't know, but yeah, I'm freestyling. That didn't really happen.
I was like, damn, what did I miss at the end of this? Damn.
I just like a happy ending. He's still alive and he's an AIDS advocate.
He's good, man. He's like magic, dude.
Exactly.
He fucking did it in the 90s, just like Magic did. But you know, I got to give a shout out to a guy who not only is like, you know, raises awareness on a crippling epidemic, but also wins a basketball game, not with a jump shot, with a straight up slam dunk from a white dude. I mean, that's legendary shit, dude.
Billy Ho.
Hell yeah, dude. So, and then we get the extra special message at the end from Gaia, the Planeteers, about AIDS, Steve. So
AIDS is an epidemic, but what's worse than that is the ignorance and the hate behind it.
You got to protect yourself with knowledge, folks. And that's, you know, shout out, dude. I like these like special, this one's, it's not just him like fucking with somebody polluting. It's fucking with people polluting people's minds, Steve.
Us 90s kids, we needed that message. And, you know, they also add this one. I think this was just like always a bonus message, you know, to take care of your planet and the planet's health, you must have health of your body as well as your mind.
Yeah, dude. Get yoked, just like Captain Planet.
Go planet.
Fuck what Ravenous Scum or Villainous Scum says.
Yeah, he's a loser. On that same day in 1992, Stalin debuts on HBO. It's the life and career of the brutal Soviet dictator, Joseph Stalin. Directed by Ivan Passer, starring Robert Duvall, Julia Ormond, and Joan Plowright.
Damn, Duvall played Stalin.
Totally unrecognizable, man. And he actually won some accolades, man. He was nominated for this, and he said this is the most difficult role that he's ever played, man. And he has an illustrious filmography.
It's tough being the dictator, Stalin.
Like most HBO movies, man, this is available on YouTube, and I would recommend this to any like historian or, you know, someone that's interested in learning about like historical like world leaders. And, you know, Stalin, he was a piece of shit by all means, but, you know, he was a big deal at some point in, you know, at some time in the history of this world.
Yeah, I mean, that dude has a lot of, it's not great shit. It's not like invigorating information, but the level of shit that guy did. And also I find it very interesting also, it just kind of shows you how the world changes, that he was one of the worst people ever, right? He was responsible for a lot of heinous shit, but at one point we had to team up with that motherfucker to beat a worse dude. You know, like he was on our side in World War II. We weren't fighting the Russians then. So it's crazy. It is fucking wild. But yeah, if you want to see some fuck shit, I bet Stalin has a lot of scenes of him doing that.
Oh, yeah, man. Yeah, he was a philanderer amongst other things. But that following year, 1993, Martin airs season 2, episode 15, Thanks for Nothing. Arguments nearly spoil the holiday when Martin and Gina invite their relatives to a feast. Hilarity ensues.
It's that time of year, Steve. Thanksgiving. What is this? This must be a record for us, though. Is this 3 weeks in a row we're talking about a show?
This is week 3, but did you remember that illustrious run that we had with Blossom that summer of 2022? I believe
Oh
it was.
yeah, I forgot. Yeah, summers get dicey, so maybe that's when it comes in. But
Yeah.
we had to. This is another one. It's hilarious too because we're literally just going in the episodes like week to week. So when I
Yeah.
go back, I'm like, damn, this is just like the back in the literally back in the '90s. Every week we're getting a new one.
It's hard to overlook these, man, because this isn't going to be the last time we pick from this season. Like, if you know what, man, I will put season 2 of Martin against any season of any sitcom.
Without a doubt. I mean, why it's now that we're reviewing it and I'm just like being reminded of everything that's in that one season, like you can't even with 3, because I think 3 has Chilligan's Island and it has a couple of ones that are like legends,
Yeah.
but this has more. The quantity of just greatness is more. So I'm with you.
Yeah. Totally, man. And we start this off with Mama Payne. She's at the house. They're getting ready for the festivities for Thanksgiving, man. And Gina asks her about a chestnut souffle. A chestnut souffle? What?
Get back, get up off my neck. Make me want thinking you want some off me.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. They're cooking dinner. Gina's trying to like just foster the peace, Steve. It's just rocky with her, and Martin's mom. But they're talking. Gina gets a call, and it's really nice. It's just like very cool. She's like, "Oh, great, yeah, dinner's this. See you then." And Martin's mom is like, "Who the hell was that?" And she's like, "Oh, it's Martin's cousin."
Sonny.
Sonny and Uncle Junior. They're in town. They're going to show up, and you thought when she lost her bird, Steve, she had a reaction. This is right up there. I gotta move, baby. She has to lay low for a few days because these two are, they're trouble, Steve. Uncle Junior and Sonny have a reputation in the Payne household.
And it's so bad she can't even go out the door. She goes out bruh man style through the fire escape.
Fucking jumps out. She just says, fuck it. She even leaves her shoes, I think. She says, I got to get the fuck out. So that's where the credits start. This chick Mama Payne's got some fucking strength in those legs, Steve. This woman can do a lot. She's Superwoman. When we come back, she's making Thanksgiving still, but there's a lot of like cans and boxes. This isn't from scratch Thanksgiving. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, box cornbread, even has canned pumpkin pie. Martin's like, that's a damn shame, Gina.
I mean, she's like, yeah, he is not happy. Canned this? Great. Canned pumpkin pie. Well, Martin's also pissed that Gina invited his family to this shit. And she's like, well, maybe my mom and dad will hit it off with your family. He's like, yeah, something's going to get hit on. It's your mom, and my Uncle Junior is going to be the one hitting on her. So it's already setting it up for just a disaster. This is a weird vibe, too. This is scary almost.
Why don't you invite my buddy Tupac Shakur? Maybe Snoop Dogg.
Snoop Dogg. Yeah. Snoop Dogg.
LeVar Burton. Tom and Jerry. I like, man, why LeVar Burton? That'd actually be cool if you invited LeVar for Thanksgiving.
Yeah. Hell yeah, dude. LeVar Burton. Love that. All of them can come hang out, honestly. But so Cole, Tommy, and Pam show up. They're here too. And Martin's like, oh, hey, guys, you're just in time for a bunch of canned fucking shit for Thanksgiving. Also, you want to know what she did? She invited these crazy lunatics to this thing. And they're like, what's so wrong with these people? And he's like, dude, Sonny, he's a straight up thief. Okay? Hide the shit.
Yeah, and Pam, she's like, ain't got to say anymore, man. So as she's taking off her shit, he's like, no need to worry. Sonny recognizes swap meet jewelry when they see her.
And he's like, also, Junior is a drunk. Okay, so first of all, hide all the beer, hide the champagne, hide it all. He puts that under the sink. And he's like, secondly, Junior is a little bit sensitive about his lazy eye. He's got like a lazy, crazy eye. And he's gonna be talking to you, but he's gonna be over here someplace. Yeah. He's talking to you, the shit's over here.
Tommy and Cole see how Gina's preparing the meal. They're like, you know what? I actually do have a function. So Cole, he finds his exit, and Tommy's like, man, you know what? I think I'm gonna roll with you too, Cole.
Yeah.
And
When's Big Shirley fried up that turkey?
yeah. So after they leave, Martin's like, hey, BDB, I should say Silky now. You can be gone too. It was like, well, I would, but I have nowhere to go. Oh.
But on the bright side, Steve, this is Gina's first Thanksgiving. This is the first time she's cooking a meal. This is a tough one to do, like a first. This is tough. Cooking Thanksgiving can get tough, but she's trying. She's got the cans ready. You know, she is making a turkey. I would just also say this bitch is basting a turkey, so she's trying.
She's trying, man. And Martin comes up with the game plan. He's the coach in this scenario. He's like, look, baby, you can do it. Giving her a pep talk. You got this. Love is in your face. Love is in your face.
Yeah, and he's like, look, we're gonna just do this to get my family out as quickly as possible. We'll get them in, get them out, and then no problems. Then Gina's mom and dad show up, and it's all gravy. So he's like, Pam, I need you more than ever. And she's like, what? Okay. What do you need? He's like, I need you to do what you always do. Drive men away.
Oh.
Yeah, dude. So later they're like huddled. They're continuing, but Martin's like looking in the peephole. He's like, man, I think they're about to leave. They've passed the door a couple times, so just shut the fuck up. But Uncle Junior smelled the turkey or smelled the pussy in the air, Steve, and just kicked the door in.
Whose ass I got to whip to get myself a beer off up in here?
Yeah, and Sonny comes in, I mean, looking like Eddie Murphy in The Golden Child. They reference it. He's just like, he's got it, dude. This guy's got his Eddie impersonation down pat. He's got his eye on Martin's watch, and I love Martin. Every time Sonny gets close, he's like, yeah, they probably love that in the penitentiary, huh? Like that. Yeah. Uncle Junior takes Martin to the side too, looks over at Pam, and Gina's like, I see you got a couple of those beautiful little tenderonis over there. Dude, he's a legend, Steve.
Yeah, this is my girl Gina, and this is her lonely friend Pam. I got my eye on you. Which one? Oh,
I mean, and he quells the bees, Steve. You don't say anything about the eye because he's TNT, but he calms down. They almost get Junior and Sonny out the door. He's like, man, you know what? Shit.
They find out that his sister, Junior's sister Edna, I think that's the first time finding out her name. She's not going to be there. She had other plans.
Yeah, dude. So now Gina's family's here, looking just bougie as all hell. The dad, I would love to dress like her dad, Steve. I don't think I could pull it off, but just like the cool little like suit combo he's got with the chain and shit. What is he? He's a doctor, isn't he?
He's a doc.
Yeah. Man, I thought that was a nickname.
Mama's a brick house. I know Martin's keeping Gina busy all night long. If he's anything like me, bang, bang, bang.
Man, Unc, you gotta chill. Like Martin's constantly like, yo, dude, chill the fuck out, bro. Sonny's trying to, Gina's mom has like this voluptuous fur coat on, and Sonny's like, let me take that from you, sister. And he's like taking it. And Martin's like, man, Sonny, give me that shit. And they get in like a whole thing. And he's like, let me take it.
Yeah, he was adamant. Sonny was like, man, I got this, man. I got this. And he starts like petting it. Yeah, that's a real nice coat there, Sonny. Yeah, they'll really like it on you in the penitentiary, won't they?
Love to see you in that fur coat. Junior sits down literally right in between Gina's mom and dad. He's eating grapes. John Witherspoon loves using grapes, Steve. Yeah. I love that. I'm clock that. But he's like, man, husband look weak. He's just talking shit about. Man, why don't you do a little push-up contest with me, Doc? He's like, and Gina's dad's like, I'm not gonna do that. And then he starts doing push-ups. He bang, bang.
2.
He gets 3 up, and then Gina's dad finally, I think Martin's like, man, he's 3 up on you. You better get down there.
Come on, Cliff. He's funny. Now, if my Uncle Junior take your wife, man, she might be freakier than I thought. Man, you know what? I'm gonna go check on the yams.
Yeah. They also
And
get into an arm wrestling match too, Steve. I mean, it's just bro on bro violence at this point. It's like a frat house.
Because he goes to check on the yams, and you cut back right after this push-up contest. They're having an arm wrestling contest, and John Witherspoon, like, he cheats. He uses both of his arms. He's like, yeah, now Red kiss the winner.
Macaroni. But a fight almost breaks out at that point. Gina's dad's had enough. Dude looks like he can throw a punch. I would not want to get no fist fight. Witherspoon's lunaticking it out. And Gina's like, stop. You guys need to chill out. This is my first Thanksgiving. And she kind of like, calms the energy down a little bit in the room. It's getting testy in there.
Because they thought Gina's mom had a gun. Because like,
she gonna get the cap in, Steve.
Because Junior's reaching for his boot and she reaches for her purse. Yeah, it's like, yeah, Mom, tell them that you don't have a gun. Like, don't be ridiculous. So yeah, like, all of you guys are being ridiculous. And Uncle Junior's like, yeah, you people are crazy. Like, you are lucky to have one eye. Because I've been thinking about just taking that other one and just slinging it. She said sling it. I thought she said she was going to throw it, but she said sling it. And Sonny, you're not Eddie Murphy.
That's, dude, Gina, she's a queen, Steve. I love that. That's what you need sometime.
God bless you, Tisha.
So now the energy's back. It's Thanksgiving. It's time to carve the turkey. You know, it looks great. It looks just kind of dicey, Steve. If I was the cook, I'd put it in for a little bit longer. But, Gina's dad, he's going to get to carving. And he slices this thing. And is that a human, Steve? Because this shit's bleeding. It's leaking.
Yeah, like a Cactus Jack match. And I like how before they carve the turkey, now Sonny is Arsenio. Oh, one time.
Yeah. Oh, we Arsenio now.
One time.
Martin almost pukes. There's blood coming out of a turkey, like some kind of fucking exorcism shit. So we cut, and it's later, and Martin's hanging out, just mowing a turkey sandwich. And I hope it's not the turkey from the Gina turkey, because you're going to get botulism or something, bro.
Yeah. E. coli or some shit.
Something's going to happen.
He's going to town on that turkey sandwich. And while they're about to have a little make love sesh on the sofa.
Full of turkey, though, Steve? Thanksgiving sex? That doesn't exist.
Maybe not. But bruh man pops in, and he just starts grabbing food, per usual.
Hold up.
Yeah.
Hold up. And, dude, apparently bruh man's been he has a little company upstairs. Because Martin's like, look, man, you can't keep coming in here doing this shit. Stealing my fucking food, coming in, not even knocking. What's going on, man? And the bro man's like, oh, sorry, man. Me and your mom's hanging out upstairs. Wanted to do some grub. So he's getting sandwiches and stuff for Martin's mom, who's been upstairs with bro man. It's a little comfortable too, Steve. Is he fucking Miss Payne?
They just chilling. About to make a couple sandwiches. Set this Thanksgiving off.
He's upstairs on the 5th floor, Steve. So you're good. You're good. But then I love that. Broman's one of the greatest just side characters of all time. So little to work with, but so great. The end credits come, and this isn't just like the bloopers. We see a bunch of like the crew of the actual show just jumping off of the Martin balcony. And they're just jumping over and over again. Everybody's doing it. And then Martin comes out. He's like, I'll pay y'all or some shit. And then he fucking jumps off, looks at the camera, and is like, peace.
Yeah, man. I love that. Another classic, man, from this season 2.
This one was
Heavily.
way funnier. Like, I wouldn't actually clock this when somebody's like, which episode should we watch? Bunch that would come up, but this one is hilarious, dude. And like you said, it's got a legend in it, multiple legends.
For sure, man. But somebody who probably didn't watch this in 1993 is American actor Bill Bixby. He would pass away at the age of 59. The original Bruce Banner.
Yeah, dude. He's not Bruce Banner. He's David Banner because Bruce was a little Steve. They changed the name in the TV show.
They did? Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, dude, Bill Bixby. Basically, you know, nerdy, but he could just do this a lot. And then he turned into fucking Lou Ferrigno, Steve.
Yeah, man. The power of TV, from Bill Bixby to Ferrigno. And he was also in, because I'm such a TV nerd, he was in My Favorite Martian and The Courtship of Eddie's Father. But yeah, man, he would also, like, in his later years, man, he was one of the writers for Blossom. Speaking of the devil, man, he actually died after his final directing job for the show.
In my opinion, Nation, that's pretty cool, Bill.
By the way, Blossom, where are you at? I can't find you. Get back here, you little hussy.
Get back here, you little hussy. I can't find you on Hulu. I missed you, bitch. Get over here.
But Bill Bixby, man, all right, man. Yeah, you're right. He was David Banner. I don't know if this was a copyright thing or what, but
no, literally they made the decision because people at the time thought the name Bruce was too homosexual sounding, so they changed it to David.
Wow.
That is not even a joke. I did not make that up.
Different times, man.
Yeah.
But in 1995, LL Cool J would release Mr. Smith. And man, this is the first LL Cool J album I bought. And I've said this before, he was my favorite rapper around this time, man. And it just, Sean Carter came along and he kind of took that torch. But this is the one with Doing It. This is the one with Hey Lover and I Shot Ya and I Shot Ya remix. And that song, I Shot Ya remix, introduced me to Fat Joe. That song had Fat Joe, Foxy Brown, Prodigy, R.I.P., and Keith Murray. And even the album cuts, banger after banger. Loungin', that was another one. No Airplay, Hip Hop, Make It Hot. It from beginning to end, man. I give this shit 5 stars. All Music gave it 3. But what do I know? I'm just a guy on a podcast.
I love that. I'll go with it. I mean, Doing It, I just remember just overplaying the fuck out of that song because of, I mean, to be honest with you, Steve, it was because the video was hot as fuck. So I was just trying to see some really hot stuff as a kid, and he did it. So shout out to, I mean, ladies love LL Cool J. They love Cool James. I love him. But I kind of was like not as into him as like younger. I fell into him when he was in Any Given Sunday and stuff, like as an actor. And then I went back and listened to him, and he's on my like playlist now. Like I have a bunch of his singles, like young or new and old, but I don't know. He's not one of my favorites, but the dude is a legend, man. And he did kill it in acting for a while too. He's in one of the greatest bad movies of all time called Deep Blue Sea, which was great. He played a chef with a parrot.
And this album also introduced me to Hype Williams. I think like this is some of his earliest video work. He did.
What year was this?
95. So he did the video for Doing It as well as Hey Lover, if I'm not mistaken. LL, you could probably say, is the best at rap, like love ballads, because of course he did I Need Love in the 80s at a time when it wasn't popular. You were deemed soft for doing something like this, making tracks for the ladies. And then Hey Lover with Boys to Men. I mean, LL and Boys to Men, you can't go wrong, man. That song is a banger.
Yeah, he did pull that off at a time where you did get kind of called out for being soft for doing that shit if you were like in hip hop at all. Like, you know, what do they call that? I've had a fucking West Side Connection album where they made fun of him for it, actually. But hell yeah, dude. Doing It was a great song. I mean, that's like a good rap song, but I mean that's not a love ballad, it's a fuck ballad, honestly.
It's a fuck ballad.
Yeah. So shout out LL.
1997, Anastasia premieres in theaters. The last surviving child of the Russian royal family joins two con men to reunite with her grandmother, the Dowager Empress, while the undead Rasputin seeks her death. Directed by Don Bluth, starring Meg Ryan, John Cusack, Kelsey Grammer, Christopher Lloyd, Hank Azaria, Bernadette Peters, Kirsten Dunst, and Angela Lansbury. R.I.P.
I didn't watch this as a kid, but if you go and watch this, this is a quality Disney flick. The animation in this is like so cool, so good.
It's not even Disney. I thought it was Disney. It's a Fox flick because in 1997 their movie was Hercules. I think at the time
Oh, you're right, Steve. Damn, look at you.
they put all their focus on Hercules that year, but I understand why you said that because I thought that, and on top of that, it's on the Disney Plus app. It has a very Disney aesthetic to it. They have that you if you've seen one Disney movie, like you kind of get their vibe.
Well,
But-
this is still that hand drawn style. Like this is
Yeah.
that. Also, Steve, I don't know if you mentioned it, but Kelsey Grammer's in this movie too. So just shout out. But yeah, dude, Rasputin, like the villain in it, it's very cool looking. It's a great animation. You know, if you told me it was like what the story is about, I don't really like this like time period when I watch movies, but this is killer. Like I wouldn't give it 5 stars, but we'll give it a 3.5.
I skimmed over his life story, and the real Rasputin, he was a pretty gnarly dude, man.
Yeah.
He was a what do you call him? A Christian mystic.
He was a Lothario too, Steve. I think also there's a rumor that Rasputin had a huge dork. So it's not in this movie, but you know, I think he went around fucking a lot of chicks. He was one of those like mystics.
Yeah, he was a mystic, man. And I mean, because it's a kid's movie, they didn't want to go into full detail about what really happened to the dude because he was assassinated and I think thrown into the ocean. If I'm not mistaken.
I think they had to kill him multiple times because I think they said he could come back to life. So that was, you know, I don't know the whole thing, but I do know this movie. If you like animated movies and you like, I'm kind of getting sick of the CG movies they're making now. I miss the hand drawn stuff because
Me too.
what they're making now, it's like it all goes together because it all kind of looks the same. You know, whether it's Pixar or whoever, the way they make people in these cartoon movies now, it's not all different. It all kind of looks similar. And this is going back to that time in the 90s where, you know, if you were going to animate a movie, there might have been some computer graphics in this, like early stuff, but they're drawing this shit, which you got to respect.
This was the last of a dying breed, and it was actually nominated for some awards, man. I want to say they actually won some too. So I would recommend it. It's worth at least a watch, man. You know, if you're familiar with the story of Rasputin or not, it tells a good story, and the cinematography, if you could call it that, because it's a cartoon, or the look, the landscape, it's beautiful, man. You know, like the background that they created for this.
Yeah, dude. It's again, like I feel like that kind of style of like animation, and you know, there's just something about it that it might be like us like being nostalgic, but it just to me it's something is cooler about it. It just looks better, and they pulled this off. There's a couple of these movies that maybe I did clock to Disney, but this. And there was another one that was kind of like a future movie, and I can't clock the name of it, but they all had like this style, like this wispy, like what was that movie? Something about the toaster or something like
Brave Little Toaster.
Yeah, like that almost. Like so I don't know where I was going with this. I'm high, Steve, but hell yeah. This movie's dope.
That same day in 97, Mortal Kombat Annihilation premieres. A group of martial arts warriors has only 6 days to save the Earth from an extra-dimensional invasion. Directed by John R. Leonetti, starring Robin Shue, Talisa Soto, Brian Thompson, Sandra Hess, Irina Pantieva, and Lynn Red Williams. Totally.
Turd alert. This movie sucks, Steve.
Yeah, it looks like it was a made-for-TV USA movie, and it probably would have fared better if it was that, because
Totally.
it doesn't look like it was theater ready. It doesn't look like it required a lot of money to make for those standards, man. Cyrax looks like Renfest. Sub-Zero looks like Marcy Darcy's first husband, and the graphics, they look like Doom.
I mean, the last, like, it's got to be the last 5 minutes. Liu Kang does like the dragon fatality from the second game, and he turns
Yeah,
into a dragon, Steve. And
a
it's,
shitty dragon.
I mean, it's on the level of like something that maybe you and I could pull off with no artistic ability, or it just is awful. It doesn't look good, you know.
And Shao Kahn turns into a three-headed monster, and I couldn't help but think about that meme where all three of the dragons are looking doofy.
Yeah,
Ooh.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and also they just made dumbass decisions because they got Liu Kang from the first one, and they got Katana from the first one, and that's it. Everyone else is different. They kill fucking, spoiler alert, they kill Johnny Cage within 5 minutes. So right then and there, when even as a little kid, I was like, I'm out. Like, I'm fucking pissed.
And the guy who played the original Johnny Cage, they asked him to return, but after reading the script, he said, "Fuck nah."
Well, so did Raiden. Raiden's like, hell
Oh,
no. You fucking kidding
Christopher
me?
Plummer?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Christopher Lambert's like, shit, I'm not, I got another fucking Highlander to make. Get that other guy. Get the guy who's like in Monk or whatever, you know? I don't know. He's just like, they just got like a second rate guy. They got like lookalikes.
And I will say the girl that they had play Sonya Blade, she's fine. She's fine.
Of
But
course.
she's no Veronica Vaughn though.
Hell no, dude. And that dude, just shout out to Veronica Vaughn, especially as Sonya Blade, just looking so fucking sexy.
Yeah.
But this, even she looks fine too. But it's just like, what's the point, guys? What are we doing here? You got nobody. You got Goro's gone. You got some guy, a Minotaur now, who looks fucking like he's in some kind of weird porno movie. It's not even scary. It's like Dave Grohl in a Tenacious D video.
And you're putting like so much focus on these characters I never gave a fuck about in the video game. Like Nightwolf, he doesn't deserve a scene. His character, I never liked Nightwolf. I never cared for Jax. Why does he have so many talking parts? And like, I felt guilty. I'm gonna be real with you, man. Whenever I make my selections, I be like, man, I should pick Jax. He's the lone brother. Steve, are you a sellout? Do you not care about do you not have pride? Where's your sense of pride? No, it's not about that. It's about him being the worst character. You just gave this brother some arms, some metallic arms. Other motherfuckers shooting out fire, shooting out mist, throwing out fucking metallic fans and shit. You just gave him arms. What the fuck he gonna do with those arms?
I always wondered also because he gets metallic arms because somebody rips off his regular arms, but it's like, how does that work? You know, like, doesn't that, I mean, there's got to be some kind of crazy surgery there for you to do this. And it's Mortal Kombat. I know we shouldn't be nitpicking this, but the guy, even the guy that they got, Jax was in the first movie for like 2 seconds, Steve. And he was a guy who looked like Lawrence Taylor. Couldn't tell you who he is, but he was fine. In this, it doesn't even make sense. It doesn't look the same at all. It's like a stunt cock from fucking Orgasmo where it's like, this isn't even like, what's going on here? And yeah, dude, they just it was obviously a money grab. And they got my money because I went to see this shit the day it came out. But when I left, I was like, man, fuck this.
Fuck this.
Even as a little kid, what year did this come out?
97.
97. I was 14, Steve.
Freshman year,
almost just about to be driving, but I walked out of a movie theater like, dude, fuck this.
Yeah.
I go fucking watch a naughty movie at home.
And Michael Jai White was scheduled to play Jax, but he didn't have time because he was busy doing Spawn that year.
Good. He dodged a bullet, Mike. He's good. Don't ever do something like this of this quality.
Eventually he would, though. Mortal Kombat The Rebirth in 2010, and he played Jax the following year in Mortal Kombat Legacy.
I think those were, wasn't that like whatever. That's cool. Anything Michael Jai White does, I'm interested in. I didn't know he played Jax. I need to go watch that, but I bet he kills it. But yeah, dude, you know what they should have done? Not this. Make something else. Maybe make a sequel to the Street Fighter franchise. Give that another shot. Because I might have been more accepting of that. But this fucking trash, Steve, this porno movie quality,
no juice. Same day, 1997, The Rainmaker premieres. An underdog lawyer takes on a fraudulent insurance company. Directed by Francis Ford Coppola, starring Matt Damon, Claire Danes, John Voight, Mary Kay Place, and Mickey Rourke, and Danny DeVito.
Damn, Mickey Rourke, dude, before he had a crazy face. What
Yeah.
happened? I mean, I know with Busey, like there was an accident involved, but just like these people that were like famous in the 80s, they look insane now. What was Rourke looking like in this? Was he looking sexy and flexy, Steve?
I didn't even get to see it, man. I didn't have time, and it's not available on any streams. But I did want to watch it because I hear it was a good movie, man. You know, it's directed by Francis Ford Coppola. He doesn't put out stinkers much, and
Well, later on, Steve, he just put out the ultimate stinker recently.
they can't all be hits.
Yeah, but shout out to Francis Ford Coppola. I'm not a huge fan of his, but this was a mom and dad movie that I watched, and it's got a young Matt Damon, and it's got some hitters in it, but this kind of shit back in the day for me wasn't something I was interested in too much.
Yeah.
Unless it had titties, and maybe there was some tits in it. I don't think so though.
Nah, I highly doubt it. 1999, though, WCW is airing Mayhem 99 at Scotiabank Arena, aka the Air Canada Center in Toronto, Ontario. Man, Matt, the Vince Russo train choo-choos along, man. And we've shat on the man before, but I will say, like, obviously the man was doing something right at some point in his career, and he's done some things that I'll never be able to accomplish in my life. He's worked with some legends who I'll never get to meet in my life. Because a lot of them, the greats are gone, man, from Mr. Perfect, the Rudes, and all of that. So for him to get to this point, clearly he was doing something right. But this is the second pay-per-view under his tutelage, I believe. It is a shit show, and I totally clocked out at this time, man. There's a female character who's built, she's buff, and her name is Asia. I wonder where they got that idea from. And
That's amazing. Jesus. The level of just fucking straight up ripping off that was going on between because Vince was doing this shit too.
And yeah, they're both petty, but something I really didn't appreciate in this, man, Dr. Death Steve Williams, he comes out and he's accompanied by a guy named Oklahoma, and it's Ed Ferrara, and he's basically doing a Jim Ross impersonation, even down to the facial contortions, because at this point Jim Ross had already had Bell's palsy, and I just thought that was just low class, man.
Yeah,
like
fuck that.
If you want to impersonate Jim Ross, there's a lot of ways you can go about it, man. But even taking it that far, bro, come on, man. So that's just poor class right there. I also need to add Medusa. She is hot as F in this pay-per-view.
Let me just look this up. Medusa. What was this? 1990 what? 9?
Mayhem 99. Them puppies are out. I don't care if they're enhanced or what, man. She's already got a fit body. She always works out, but throw them cans on top of it, those huge mammaries, man. Yeah.
Oh, damn. God bless America. Jesus. Is she blonde, Steve?
Who's paying attention?
Puppies. Jesus. Is she wearing I mean, good God. At least they knew. Vince knew what to do. Vince Russo knew what he was doing in that respect.
Yeah.
Look at this freakish whore I found.
There were too many interferences. I guess because the event is titled Mayhem, they wanted it to be just like frantic and crazy. Like, all these interferences. That really ruined the whole thing, on top of it being shitty to start with. Just about every match had an interference. Ming had a match with Lex Luger, and he was accompanied by Miss Elizabeth by this time. Miss Elizabeth is right in front of Lex Luger, and she's supposed to be macing Ming. She maces Lex Luger. Like, the mace is
no one likes Lex, Steve. That was an on purpose thing. She's like, God damn it.
Oh, I'm sick of that face. Goldberg has a I Quit match with Sid Vicious, and Russo, he basically replicated what he did with The Rock and Mankind. I don't know if you remember when they had an I Quit match, and basically The Rock had a recording of Mankind saying "I quit" played over the loudspeaker. So like they did the same thing with Sid Vicious and Goldberg, where Goldberg had his voice recorded and Sid Vicious wins the match. This is the first time Bret Hart wins the belt. I think the only time he won the belt when he beat Chris Benoit with the sharpshooter.
Damn, little Canuck on Canuck violence there, guys.
It's aired from Toronto, so you know they did that on purpose.
That's
But
awesome. I mean, Vince Russo, though, this man is like widely reviled from
Yeah.
fans of wrestling. So it's just like, why didn't they pull the plug on it? Like, what did he have on these WCW folks that just kept him in there? Was it just that he had success in WWF and they were like, well, fuck it, do that?
That's what it was. He had success in WWF, and I mean, after he took over in '99, it didn't last long because you know Vince bought the company in 01, so he only had it for about a year and some change, like a solid year and a half. You know,
So it was like a soft takeover where Vince McMahon was like, just go over there and fuck shit up so I can buy this shit.
I mean, that's a myth that they're putting out there, and I wouldn't put it past him because McMahon is a mastermind. Everybody's playing checkers, he's playing chess.
Vince, do what Vince says.
Yeah, man.
Tank it.
But any callbacks, honorable mentions, or shit in your stool?
None, thankfully. It's not been that bad of a week. You know, I gotta just give a shout out to Danny Glover, dude, because this week he proved me wrong. Danny Glover's been kind of like it's hit or miss with Danny sometimes, you know.
It's hit or miss.
Sometimes you get a good one, sometimes you get a snooze fest. But going back to this, it was hilarious to see. I respect a movie that not only took a franchise, but then combined multiple different. Like they had the guy from Lethal Weapon, and they basically just were mixing shit, Steve. They were making a nice tomato sauce, little bit of Lethal Weapon, little bit of fucking Predator, little bit of goddamn Gary Busey, and they're just stewing it, Steve. And it turned out, and they made a fucking delicious sequel. So
stewing it well.
I just don't want to hear anybody, because I think I have. I think if you go online and see some reviews of Predator 2, people are like, it's a shit show. It's like, shut the fuck up. You know?
I think it's the Arnold effect. You know, you start a franchise with Arnold, and then the next time around you take away Arnold, immediately people are going to have knee-jerk reactions, man.
One thing, we didn't even discuss it when we talked about it, but just something I just thought was cool as a fan of both of those movies. They end in an identical way. A man covered in ash from like a helicopter, just like walking out of a disaster zone that he created by killing Predator. It's like identical. It's just instead of Arnold, it's Danny Glover. But still, dude, fuck, man. Stop hating, y'all. That's my Captain Planet message of the night, Steve.
The power is yours.
Yeah. How about you?
And initially, we were going to cover the 1992 SNL episode with musical guest Sade and host Sinbad because that's a classic. But my internet streets, I guess they put a blockade around it for now. But there's always a will, there's always a way. But
it'll be bad.
Yeah, the classic skits. It had the Superman funeral with Black Lightning, and then the over dramatic Black family. Great Caesar's ghost. I loved everyone's take on there, man. Like I think all the main players had like a superhero they played. Chris Farley was Incredible Hulk.
Yeah.
Somebody was like the
Spade was Aquaman.
Aquaman, yeah. Who was the guy from Fantastic Four with the
Reed Richards. Yeah. I know. Yeah. Who was it? Was that Kevin Nealon?
I can't remember, man. Somebody played the Penguin. This is how I always talk.
Yeah. I think who was Batman? I think Phil Hartman was he Batman? No, he was like the guy at the
He was the commissioner. Great Caesar's ghost.
Yeah,
he was that guy. But also in 92, Ren and Stimpy aired a banned episode called Haunted House and Mad Dog Hoick. And I watched them, and I don't understand why they were banned. I just really feel like the powers that be had it in for John Kay. I think at that point, they were just like, let's just find a way to cancel this motherfucker.
I think I saw a penis on that. Yeah. Ban it.
That's not a nose, that's a dick. And also, in 1995, Frasier airs The Adventures of Bad Boy and Dirty Girl, and I only wanted to bring that up because I kind of like that manager. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Oh, dude, yeah, hell yeah.
Pretty-
That dress, Steve. I
It's
don't know.
her
There's some about
stern
hot
attitude.
like business chicks in the early '90s that they had
Yeah.
out there. Remember that movie? There was a movie called Disclosure where Demi Moore like forcefully has sex with Michael Douglas, I think. Like she rapes him. It's like some kind of weird, but she's dressed like this management woman, and it's just something about that. It's just a
I like
woman in that uniform, Steve. Hell yeah.
exactly. When are my bosses going to be like that? But
That's crazy.
please like, share, subscribe, and comment. Please tell your sister that we be doing it and doing it and doing it well, doing it and doing it and doing it well. Check out Food Show Fanatics as well as Crushgasm and our guy Clark the Shark on Podcastle. This is Steve G and Matt G.
Happened in the 90s.
Matt was the fat kid, Steve was the black kid. Life wasn't always great, but you know what was? The 90s. Happened in the 90s. Yeah!
I represent Queen. She was raised out in Brooklyn.